It's Friday, you just got paid, and before you know it, the money's gone. When it comes to payday, it's hard to know what to do with your money. So in today's video, I'm going to show you 6 things you need to do as soon as you get paid so that you can stop living paycheck to paycheck and can start building wealth. The first thing you want to do is know your baseline. A lot of people treat their finances like a check engine light. They see it come on, but instead of fixing it, they ignore it and hope the car keeps running. That's because our brains are hardwired to avoid negative information or any information that can make us feel uncomfortable. That's why after a night out, you might avoid looking at your bank account or credit card debt because it's easier to ignore it than to face it. But ignoring your finances doesn't fix the problem. And it's one of the biggest reasons why 64% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. The good news is the solution is simple. All you have to do is add up all your essential monthly expenses. Things like rent, groceries, gas, insurance, and anything else you need to live. Then remove anything you don't actually need to survive, like random subscriptions you barely use. After that, you should be left with the basics. Ideally, housing like rent or mortgage should be less than 30% of your income. Groceries and food should be about 10%, and insurance and utilities like your internet, phone, and electricity should also be about 10%. Whatever that total comes out to is your baseline, what it costs you each month just to live. Now, the goal is to keep this number under 50% of your total income, but because the cost of living has gone up so much, 60% is also okay. If you're spending more than that, try to look for ways to lower your bills, like maybe switching to a cheaper phone or internet plan, or even moving to a cheaper place if you can. Once you know your baseline, the next step is to build a safety net, aka an emergency fund. Imagine the peace of mind you'd feel knowing that even if you got sick, lost your job, or your car broke down, you'd still be okay. You wouldn't have to borrow money or go into debt to pay for these things. Well, that's exactly what having a safety net can do for you. I remember at my old job, there was once a problem with payment approvals and we didn't get paid for a few months. What helped me stay calm was knowing I had a safety net to fall back on. Without it, I probably would have got into debt. Now, ideally, you want your safety net to cover 6 months of your monthly living expenses. So if your monthly expenses are $3,000, you should save about $18,000 as a safety net. Now, this money should only be used for real emergencies, like if your car breaks down and you needed to get to work, or if you lose your job and you need help covering rent. Not for constant Uber Eats, a brand new TV, or random vacations. I also recommend keeping this money in a safe place that earns high interest and is easy to access, like a high-yield savings account, so that your money can grow while it's sitting there. Most regular savings accounts only pay 0.01% interest, which is basically nothing, while high-yield savings accounts are right now paying around 3 to 4%. So if you were to put $10,000 in a regular savings account, you'd only make $1 a year. But in a high-yield savings account paying 4%, you'd make about $400 a year instead just by letting your money sit there. SoFi's high-yield savings account is one I highly recommend. Right now, they're paying 3.8% interest, and for a limited time, they're offering up to a $300 sign-up bonus when you set up an eligible direct deposit. Plus, if you sign up using my link in the description, you'll get an extra $25, bringing your total bonus up to $325. That's some easy money you can start using right away to grow your safety net. The next step is to pay down your high-interest debt. In the US, the average credit card debt per person is over $6,000. We use debt to buy almost everything: clothes, gifts, furniture, and now even food, to the point where it's become a normal thing. The problem with this is that it holds you back financially. If you're spending hundreds to thousands of dollars on credit cards and loans, that's money you can't save, invest, or use to build your future. That's why paying off high-interest debt is so important, because it can save you hundreds to thousands of dollars in fees and interest. For example, if you have a credit card balance of $6,000 with a 20% interest rate, and you decide to only pay the minimum payment of $150 a month, it would take you over 5 years to fully pay that credit card off, and you'll end up paying about $4,000 extra in interest. So if you have high interest debt, the best thing you can do is to pay it off as soon as possible. One way you can do this is by using your savings. Debt usually costs more than what you earn from savings. So if you have $1,000 in a savings account earning 4%, you would only make $40 a year. But if you use that $1,000 to pay down your credit card, you could save $200 in interest and be able to pay it off in about 4 years instead of more than 5. Now, there are two strategies you can use to pay off debt: the snowball method or the avalanche method. With the snowball method, you start by paying off your smallest debt first. Once that one is paid off, you take the money you were using for that and you put it toward the next smallest debt. And you keep going until all your debts are gone. This method pretty much helps you get small wins fast, which then motivates you to keep going. The avalanche method works a little different, but it can help you save the most money in the long run. You start by paying off the debt with the highest interest rate first because it's costing you the most amount of money. Once that's paid off, you move to the next highest interest rate and you keep going until you don't have any more debt. Once you're debt free, the next step is to invest. Most people think that investing is difficult and they don't really know where to start, but it's actually really easy. The reason why investing is so powerful is because of something called compound interest. This is when your money earns interest on both the money you put in, your original amount, and the interest that has already been added over time. So the earlier you start investing, the better. The average stock market return is about 10% a year. So if you were to invest $6,000 each year for the next 40 years with an annual return of 10%, you could end up with over $2.7 million. That money can definitely change your life and help you in retirement so you don't have to work forever, borrow money from other people, or even worse, end up in debt. Now, there are many accounts you can use to invest, like a taxable brokerage account, 401k, Roth IRA, or even a health savings account. Knowing which account to use is just as important as what you invest in because it can help your money grow faster and save you money on taxes. For most people living in the US that have a regular 9 to 5, your employer might offer a 401k retirement account with employer match. This means your employer matches what you have contributed to your 401k, which is essentially free money. For example, if you earn $60,000 a year and contribute 4% to your 401k and your employer offers a 100% match up to 4% of your salary, they'll also contribute $2,400. What's nice about this account is that you don't have to pay taxes while your money is growing in the account. You only pay taxes when you take the money out in retirement. Plus, your contributions lower your taxable income, helping you save money on taxes. You can also look into a Roth IRA. This is also a retirement account, but unlike a 401k, you can open one by yourself. One benefit of this account is that you pay taxes on the money you put in now, but when you take it out in retirement, you don't have to pay any taxes because you already paid them up front. Another benefit is that you can take out the money you put in anytime without paying taxes or fees. However, the earnings from your investments can only be taken out tax-free and penalty-free if you're 59 and a half or older and have had the account for 5 years, or if you qualify for certain exceptions. So if you want flexibility, or if your job doesn't offer a 401k, a Roth IRA can be a great way to save money and grow your money for retirement. After taking advantage of these accounts, the next step is to invest with a regular brokerage account. You can think of a brokerage account as a place to put money you don't need right away. Money you plan to leave alone for 5, 10, or even 20 years. What's great about this account is that there's no limit to how much money you can put in, and you can take your money out whenever you want. Now, this account isn't tax-free, so you may have to pay taxes on the money you make from your investments. But if you hold your investments for a long time, you could end up paying less in taxes, so this is still a great and a smart way to grow your money. Now, opening a brokerage account is super easy. You can open one with companies like Fidelity, Vanguard, Robinhood, or Charles Schwab. Once it's open, you can start investing in things like index funds, ETFs, or even individual stocks. Just connect your bank, transfer money in, and you're ready to go. I personally use Fidelity and invest in an index fund called FXAIX. It tracks the S&P 500, which is made up of 500 of the biggest US companies like Apple, Tesla, Microsoft, and Amazon. When you invest in this index fund, you're basically buying a tiny piece of all of these different companies at once. So when those companies grow and make money, your investments grow too. So even if you're not picking individual stocks or checking the market every single day, your money can still grow on its own over time just by being in there. My advice is to start with whatever you can. Even putting in $100 into an index fund like this one can help your money grow over time. For example, if you start with $100 and add $100 every single month with an average return of 10% a year, after a year, that could grow to over $1,300. After 2 years, over $2,600. After 3 years, over $4,000, and it keeps growing from there. The last step is to automate your finances. This means setting things up so your money goes where it needs to go without you having to worry about it every single month. Here's how to do it. First, have your paycheck direct deposited into your checking account. Second, leave enough money in your checking account to pay for all your monthly expenses like rent, gas, and groceries. By the way, if you have debt, focus on paying that off first before moving on to the next steps. Third, set up automatic transfers to your savings account, ideally a high-yield savings account so that your money earns more interest and grows even faster. This is a great place to keep your emergency fund. Next, connect your bank to your investment account so it can automatically invest for you every month. For example, I have mine set up to automatically invest in the S&P 500 through my Fidelity account every month, so I don't really have to think about it or do anything myself. Once your bills are paid, you've saved some money and you've invested, whatever's left is yours to spend however you want. So hopefully this gave you a clear idea of what to do as soon as you get paid and how to make the most of your money. If you want to learn more about investment accounts and the best places to put your money to build wealth, make sure to check out this next video. And if you found this helpful, don't forget to subscribe. Over 90% of you watching haven't subscribed yet. So if you like these videos and you want to support me on the channel, please make sure to subscribe and turn on those post notifications so you never miss a new video. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video, and I'll see you guys on the next one.